Previously, on Rise of the Runelords. The battle inside the Shadow Clock raged on as our heroes fended off cultists, flesh golems, and lamias. Oh my. While the cultists proved no match for our seasoned adventurers, the flesh golem took a little more than a little bit of whittling down to bring down to size. Other distractions dispatched, the party turned their attention to the wicked witch who'd wound down the walls. Fading in and out of sight, the cunning crawler cast a cascade of magic missiles to mar and maim our meddlesome heroes, and their little owl, too. But they mustered their brains, heart, and courage to send her packing back to Oz. Or whatever magic snake lady hell is called. Battered but not beaten, the party now has a chance to rest, recover, and most importantly, loot. Today, the adventure continues.
Alright, so, yes, as we left off, Zanisha had just been slain. She landed on the ground.
He?
What? He?
No, Zanishi's fine.
Oh.
Yeah, it sounded like you said Sanishi.
No, Zanisha. Sure.
Zanisha.
Alright, move my mic a little closer. Alright, so, you guys are up.
Nate was walking over to the cultist.
Yes,
And
the one cultist was still alive and unconscious in the middle of the floor. That was the one that the image was talking to, Ollivander.
Mm-hmm.
And
Tarnan was
two were in
walking
the room
over
with
to
death.
Zanisha.
If I'm right, I think I was walking over to the crazy lady corpse.
Alright.
Number
So
one.
we're not in combat anymore, so it's just...
Right. Number one, does Tarnan detect magic on her?
No.
Okay, cool. Number two, he starts cutting off her head.
Woo. All right, then.
That escalated quickly.
Give me a strength check.
Grelda looks a little irritated at this because she's gotten in trouble for cutting off people's heads before.
It's already dead, though.
Icky's just glad nobody's cutting off the head of the guy that we managed to leave alive.
17.
17? Alright, with your dagger, it takes you a good, I'd say a good 7 or 8 minutes, but you managed to get the head off.
7 or 8 minutes?
Yes.
To take a head off.
With a dagger? Yes.
It's huge, right?
Okay, so
It's definitely larger than a normal person, and you're cutting through bone as well.
Who's closer, Zanishi or Grelda?
Grelda would be.
Grelda, remove this, please.
She grumbles. Picks up Sasha.
Alright, give me a strength check then.
Alright, I have advantage on strength checks, I believe.
You do. But okay. I will say, next time, if you roll a strength check but you don't like the result, it's already happening, and that's just how long it takes.
I already rolled a strength check, and I'm starting to cut it off, and this is taking way too long. So instead of waiting for 7 minutes to finish the task, after 12 seconds, two rounds worth of this sucks. Now I look around and say, Grelda. So it's not that I'm undoing what I did, I'm now modifying it because what I'm doing is taking way too long.
23.
23? Because of the size of it and the thickness of it, it actually does take you 2 swings. You get about 80% of the way through with the first one, and then you have to come back around with the second one before the head tumbles off.
Is anybody else picturing Theon Greyjoy with the guy at Winterfell? Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
So yes, it does. The head falls to the floor, and the mask is fairly heavy, and it is metal, so it does clang. so it actually just come down and rolls a little bit.
All right, hold on. I have to roll for a character thing.
So she's got to have like massive neck and like
Okay.
back muscles,
All
right?
the traps.
Oh
like
yeah.
if she was like having this mask on her face.
So I politely pick up the head and hand it to Tarnin, rather than doing what would have happened if I'd rolled differently.
I politely accept it and thank her. Do I suspect anything from the look on her face, like this is not what she really wants to do?
I think you would easily be able to see that there was an internal discussion going on.
And if she really, really wanted to do the other, she would have just done it. There would have been no roll.
Truth. Okay. Take the head, and I start walking over to the cultist guide. Now let's see how far Icky is in his awakening.
Right. So like
So as
So I
this
guess,
head
like,
chopping
so
off
as-
is going on.
so as the head chopping is going on, Icky would be like kind of like picking the guy up by like, I mean like well so I'm sorry, I don't recall how wrecked is this guy. Like would it be more to the point? Would Icky know better than to pick him up by the lapels and shake him to try to wake him up?
Probably, because it's either like you're literally like you're stopping on the brink of killing him. You bring him right to the brink, and then just don't take that extra step. So he is literally on the verge of death. Like you would
Okay.
be able to tell that. Yeah.
Okay, so so I guess like I'll initially kind of go up to him and just like snap in front of his face, try to like see what kind of saliency I can get from him, if any.
Yeah, the snapping in front of his face, nothing registers. He's still unconscious.
Okay. Considering that, oh, you know, I've got a +2 to medicine, but I don't have anything on me that would, you know, allow me to be medicine-y.
Well, you wouldn't need to be medicine-y because he's not dead, unless you were trying to, like,
He's
heal
already
him
stable.
Yeah, he's stable already. So, medicine you might use to. Is Nate's video frozen?
No, he's holding really still.
He just doesn't move much.
No. Okay, that's what I thought. Nate.
Okay, what's the story when he comes back in? What should we be talking about?
Say how he accidentally killed the person.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. You got to be part of this, Lars. You got to buy in.
Wait, what are we doing?
We're telling him that he accidentally killed somebody when he comes back. He missed me rolling something and everybody's dead.
Not everybody. He won't buy that. But the guy he's messing with,
Oh,
maybe.
there he goes.
Yeah, I could see that.
Now, yes, I know. It's almost time.
There he is.
I still disagree, Sean.
Well, I mean, the
What
guy
do you think,
died.
Lars?
He only had a couple of seconds, and he wasn't able to
That doesn't
tell me
seem
what he
right.
wanted to do. So
You're doing this to make. Are you doing this to hurt him, or are you doing it to hurt me? I mean,
I
I'm not
don't.
gonna
I'm the
chat.
DM. I don't try and hurt people. This is just what happens.
Look, I just want to know what page in the rule book I should reference so that I know for sure that you're not just screwing with us.
They're not
'Cause
rules. They're
this
more
guy
of
was not dead.
they're more of guidelines.
Guidelines. Great. Thanks, Sean.
And then so I came in muted, so I said a whole bunch of shit, and so I know that's unkind, friends. trying to play me like that,
Homie, don't play that.
just because my internet on my computer kind of just like went. We
We would have sold it too had Lars actually participated.
I also blame Lars.
Yeah,
I don't think this was Lars' fault.
because I think Lars is definitely the most trustworthy person among you. Yeah, totally.
That's what I'm saying. If he would have said something,
He's the one who cheated
Dude,
to drink.
a man, how can you distrust a man with a goblet like that?
This is true.
I mean,
Does everybody still have their fancy glasses from last time?
Is this a fancy class?
does this count as
If
a
you
fancy
drink it
glass?
straight, it will be.
This is definitely not a fancy glass. I could go put it in a fancy glass.
No, all I have I was as I was, putting my rushing to get back here, I thought about grabbing a fancy glass and putting some scotch in it with some whiskey stones. But I decided that would take a little bit too long and would save it for after our first break.
There you go. All right, so back to where you were. You were snapping in the guy's face.
So
and you were not getting a response.
So I would I'll try to I would like to try to get him awake and responsive to me without doing something
you would know enough to shake him, to jostle him without really doing damage to him.
Well, that's what I was asking to do in the first place, and you said I'd kill him.
I said you'd know. All right, so yes, you would be able to kind of give him a shake, give him a jostle, and wake him up.
Yeah, so I want to wake him up and just be like, so hey, once I get him responsive?
Yes, you start to shake him, and his shakes a little bit. And he kind of he puts his arm down and pushes himself up on his elbow and just looks around, and he sees you, and then he kind of takes in the rest of the scene. He looks down at where Zanisha is, where two people are taking turns trying to chop her head off, and then he just kind of looks around, and he's still laying on the ground. He looks at you. He goes, "Ah, fuck."
So at this point, I put my claw right in his belly. I don't not to do any damage, just enough to let him feel the points and the strength of my Birdlica claw, and say if you don't want a gut full of claw, you'll tell me what the money is for and what this cult is all about.
Give me an intimidation check with advantage.
Oh, got that. So I just rolled one of the dies where the 1s and 7s look really close. So I'm like, oh, cool, that's a 1. No, the first one was a 7. And the second one's a 4. So we're going with the 7 on intimidation plus 0. So 7. I'm a very intimidating bird.
You are.
My lovely plumage.
So, if I tell you, you're not gonna kill me, right? I'm gonna get to go?
Depends on what I hear.
Way to encourage him to lie.
Well,
I mean...
Is Tarnan hearing this?
Tarnan's in the... I would say you're still... You see Icky there, but you're still with Grelda, and this is probably happening at the same time that she's chopping the creature's head off, so...
So I don't hear it. Okay.
Probably not. Oh. All right. What do you want to know, Mr. Feathery Man?
So first off, what's this, what's this bi-weekly deal you have going on with Aldern Foxglove?
The Brotherhood lent him money and he's paying us back.
What was it? What was the money lent for?
Some damn house. I don't know. Do I look like I'm high up in the organization?
You look like you know enough to know where you're taking the money. Where are you taking the money?
We get it. Alden leaves. The mistress comes down. She takes it, goes back up. We leave. I don't know why you had to come in here and start killing people. It was a simple transaction.
Kitty, stop it. Can I do any damage to him without endangering his life?
At this point, no. I mean, you have to assume he's at in between. He's basically in between 0 and 1.
Yeah.
Right now.
Okay.
So now, I would say at this time, the conversation has gone on long enough that the head is off. Tarnan currently has the head in his hands. And then you would see this conversation happening. I wouldn't say you'd be able to really hear it, but you'd be able to see that the position that Icky is in.
Okay. Once I got the head, I'm walking over there.
Okay.
This is my job. It's being stolen. Some guy's moving in on my turf.
He's real bad at it, though.
Icky's passionate. He wants to know. So I guess as Tarnin's walking over, he's like Icky starts getting like a little like. Well, wait. I'm sorry. Hang on. Okay, Icky starts getting a little like flustered and just like because like he's not getting the information he wants. He's like, do you know why I matter? Do you know? He starts starts getting like a little physical with the guy,
and the guy's eyes just open up wide as Tarnin comes up right next to Icky.
Mm-hmm.
I got the head and I kind of look over at Icky. Hey, you mind if I take this for a minute? Just give me a second.
All right, where were we?
Anyway,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
where we're.
All right, Tarnin had just walked up with the head and was trying to take over.
Like Icky relinquishes control of the situation.
No, don't go anywhere.
No, what would Icky do?
He would like. Well, he's clear. Like he's frustrated that he's not getting the answers that he wants here, and he's starting to get into it with the like why, like back into like why is this cult so obsessed with me? Which he's not gotten any traction with any of these people before, so his like, and so that was like I rolled this beforehand, and he like at this point he just like. He's not holding the guy too far off the ground or anything, so it's dropping off the ground, but he just like lets go of him, like backs up just like a few steps, like keeps looking at him, just like he's yours.
Don't go far. I need you around.
Mm-hmm. Well, like he's still like Icky is absolutely looming at this point, but he relinquishes direct control of the situation.
So Tarnin turns to this guy and gives him his best intimidating smile. Not friendly, but intimidating. Your life is about to be hell. You're going to wish you were dead, but that's not going to happen. Smile. No.
All right. Give me an intimidation check with advantage as well.
Wait, I really want to set this up. Well, I can't get double advantage, so never mind.
No.
A 20.
20? All right.
I'll take the 20 instead of the 2.
All right. And you can put as much fluff around it as you would like, and then I can respond.
A natural 20, but with the... What am I looking for? Intimidation. So 27.
27? All right.
Yeah. How you doing? That's great. Fantastic. Are you worried about her hurting you anymore? And he drops the head. Doom. She really can't. But you see, that guy points over at Icky. He can. You see me? And Tarnin lifts up his shirt where that large hole from a spear is still gushing blood. He places his hand on the hole. His hand glows from the inside. The skin around it all of a sudden flashes to like flame, chars, and ashes. And as he takes his hand away, the ash falls off and there's fresh, brand new skin. I can hurt you. And I can keep you alive long enough. Well, pretty much indefinitely. So I got a small suggestion for you. I make money getting answers from people like you. You see that guy? He doesn't make money, but he's a natural. Look at his claws. Can you imagine what that's going to feel like? Going through you. Several times. And then I'll just help you stick around. He'll do it again, and eventually you're going to give the answers. So here's the short version. Give us the answers. I want to believe you the first time, but you got to convince me that it's real. You're going to answer his questions. You're going to give him the information he wants. And then if you really want to stick around and live, we can make that happen. And if you want out and don't want to be around so no one can find out what you tell us, we can make it quick. It'll be your choice. You have my word. Icky, why don't you ask the man some questions?
So he just looks.
Tarnin kicks the head and takes a couple of steps back.
Just looks back and forth between Tarnin and Icky. Oh fuck! All right. What do you want?
So, like, Icky leads was like, what do you know about me? What's my significance, friend?
I know you kicked the shit out of a few people around here. Other than that, I've never seen any of you before.
All right,
Who would answer his question?
I just answered his question.
Who would know the answer to his question other than you don't know what his significance is?
I don't know who might know. I don't know.
So I like, you know, like Icky kind of like holds up a claw to Tarnin. You know, like not losing, you know, like eye contact with this guy. Says, the Brotherhood.
Yeah?
Where you're taking the money. Where can we find them?
It's not really like a meeting hall where we get together and drink.
This isn't a meeting hall either, is it now?
No, this is where... He points to Zanisha. This is where she lives. She told us, come here every 2 weeks, get the money, and then she comes down and she gets it. She takes the money, she gives the three of us lists, we go and distribute those lists, and then the fun happens.
What are the lists? Like, lists of what? What fun?
Lists of names that she would like serviced with a little bit of art.
Does the name the Skin Saw Man mean anything to you?
Yeah, I've heard her talking about him and a couple of the other people. He was her little pet, I guess you could say. A little side project.
Side project? What do you mean?
Well, she came and basically took over our little group 8 or 9 months ago, and a couple months after that, she brought in this rich prick who said he needed some money to rebuild his house or something. I don't know. She told him she'd give it to him. He pay us back, give us the house. Yeah, we do little favors for him, keep him in our pocket. And she just kind of, I don't know, enjoyed turning him from rich prick into the Skin Saw Man. It was fun to watch.
So I don't have anything offhand. So I like, and I think like it was just like a little what the fucky. So if Tarnin has some interjection here, feel free. Otherwise, I'm going to take a moment to think.
Tarnin already jumped your spot, so he's kind of waiting for you to be done or invite him in. You kind of get that. He's looking to you to say, "Hey, you done?"
So you guys, he's like, so I answered your questions.
Shut up.
Fuck.
Oh, God damn it. I had something, but it's gone now. All right.
Everybody else is watching this, so if anybody's characters would jump in at any point.
I had like a meanwhile.
Okay. It'll give Nate time to think, so go ahead.
Okay, well then my meanwhile began kind of relatively shortly after Tarnin left, and I turned to Geisen, and I sort of like, I've got Sasha, and I sort of like tap that mask with the handle like towards him. Any idea what that is?
The mask that she's wearing?
Yeah, it fell off her face, didn't it? So
Oh.
it's on the ground.
No, I was saying the weight of it dropped her face, like that
Oh,
caused the
I thought
head to
it fell
fall.
off.
No, it was
Okay.
still attached to the head that Tarnan took. You can
Okay,
mention the mask, but it is not currently on the floor.
Nah, if it wasn't right there, she wouldn't mention it. So then there is no meanwhile. I would just be like standing
My
back.
meanwhile is just that I search her body. Or, well, I don't know if this is Snake Lady wear clothes. Is there something to search?
There was a little bit of armor on her. So I mean, you can definitely give me an investigation check and give her body, like, give her the once over.
Can I help him with that?
Yeah.
Rather
Well,
than-
you could help, like, if he's searching, you could help him search. So you can do it with advantage.
Okay, because Grelda is not super interested in watching someone be tortured. So, given another option, she would do that.
20.
20? The only thing you find is, like, inside of the armor, there's a little pocket, and there's a small key ring with 3 keys on it. And that's all you find on her, other than, she has, like, there was the pike she was using. But that's it, other than the fact that, you know, there's a 10-foot snake tail.
Are we looting each body individually, or was that for like the room kind of looting? Sometimes you don't like us to roll for everything.
Well, I mean, what are you guys just checking her, or are you going to do a wider search while this is all going on?
I think Geiston would probably do a wider search after he was done with the main lady.
Okay, then we'll on her body you find that. When you go check the other 2 cultists, the only thing you find on them is both of their crossbows and some crossbow bolts that they had. Other than that, there's just normal, just kind of lower middle class clothing underneath of the red robes that they were wearing. But you don't find there's no money, there's no identification, there's nothing beyond just the weapons that they had. The rest of the doors of the rooms are all unlocked. So as you go into each of those rooms, they are empty, filled with dusts and cobwebs. The room that you went in, the room that the creature was in, seems to be the only one that has been disturbed at all lately.
What about up the wall where the snake lady came from?
As you look up, you see that there is the winding stairwell that goes up, but it is broken in places. Like, there's 10 to 15 foot gaps where there used to be part of the stairwell, and it's just gone. And there's a number of those, like, but it goes all the way up, and at the very top, because it's about 150 feet tall altogether, you see like 4 bells on the inside of it, kind of on a cross rafter on the top, and you can see 4 large bells. But that's way up at the top.
Just for the hell of it, I send Elevander up to just check out, make sure there's nothing valuable up there.
All right. So while Elevander's going up, Nate and Bill, did you want to jump back on?
So basically, ESQ is like, so these lists, do you have one on you? What, like, do you have any in here? And I like tap his forehead.
Dude, your claws are fucking sharp. She gives us the lists after we take the money. We didn't take the money. She heard the little scuffle, so I'm assuming that she had them.
Can you, what can you tell me about any of the other lists that you've received?
We get a long list with names, occupations, places where we can find these people. I take the list, break it out, give it to people, they give it to other people, and we have 2 weeks to take care of our lists. And the lists they've been getting a lot longer lately. We've been busy.
Is there a central place that you report to, or is this your base of operations?
This is where we get the lists. I give it to 3 people, they give it to other people. I couldn't
Names.
tell. We don't do names.
Do you do breathing?
So far.
So start breathing names.
Gerald. I don't know what to tell you.
Mickey, you want to jog his memory, maybe? I mean, if you don't, I will.
Like Icky drops him, steps back, just like he's yours.
Fair
Let
enough.
me know if you need a claw.
Okay. Other than Gerald. Gerald who? Where's Gerald at? How do I find Gerald?
I don't even know who Gerald is. You asked for names. I told you I don't have them, and you told me to give you names anyway, so I started just naming off names. I can't give you what I don't have.
Are all the lists that you've already handed out completed yet?
We have 2 weeks to complete a list.
So
been
there's
2
2 weeks worth of people out there. And you have seen these lists.
We get the list. We take care of the names on the list. And then we come
Who's
back
on
and get
these
a new
lists?
list.
Who's on the list?
They're already dead.
You said you had 2 weeks. So are
I
all
said-
the ones already gone?
I said every time he gives us the money, she takes the money and gives us a list. We're supposed to get our new list today. But, you guys interrupted the normal process.
Where else do you meet?
2 blocks that way, and he points north. I meet 3 hooded figures in about 35 minutes-ish. I give them their lists, they turn around and walk away. I've got 2 weeks to finish the name on mine.
Is Turner familiar with anything that's 2 blocks away, that in the general direction he was pointing?
Nothing
Okay.
specific, nothing out of the ordinary.
Besides the 2 friends that you had with you tonight, who else is in your group? Give me names of those people that you have met and talked to. Or
There's
is it
no
just those
meeting,
2
there's no
corpses?
talking. They meet me there. I give them the lists, they walk away.
He kicks the head again. So who does she answer to? I mean, before she was around, you had somebody that you answered to.
If you could call it answering to him. He was
What would you describe it as?
kind of was in charge. He was a drunk. He told us, he gave us lists of names. They were 1 or 2 here or there. It was mainly recreation. But then things changed.
So this is fun for you.
Used to be.
What was that guy's name?
Just called him the cleric. It's, if you, let me give you a little bit of advice. If you're gonna do a cult that involves illegal things like murders, names usually aren't a good idea.
Yeah, thanks for the advice. What happened to the cleric? Where is he now? How do I find him?
A shovel?
Zanisha took care of that?
Well, you can't really take over for somebody if they're still there. One day he was there, the next day she was there, and the group got a lot better. Leadership was refined. She had a purpose.
And you never heard her talk to anyone else?
She
Or
must
about
have.
anyone?
She had her little pet project that your feathered friend mentioned. I mean, she would leave occasionally and come back. I don't know. All I know is she lived up there. Other than that, I got nothing for you.
Gerald.
So
Icky, you got any other questions?
I was just going to say, I'm feeling a little done with this guy.
Yeah.
Are you feeling a little done with this guy?
Very much so. If he's out there collecting lists of people and it was recreation, why keep him free for the people? Why let him intermix?
I mean,
Hey, you said you let me go.
Yep,
I answered
I'm
your
letting you go.
questions.
I'm letting you go. And turns around and walks away.
He kind of starts to scoot back from Icky a little bit. A few feet, slowly starts to push himself up.
it's like, oh, God damn it.
And he says, you guys aren't bad. And then he starts to walk around, like taking like a wide berth around you, making his way slowly towards the door.
So as he's leaving,
He can walk around.
What was that?
I thought he was an inch from death. He can walk around, okay?
Well, he's not like skipping and jumping, but he is currently alive. So yeah, he's he looks like hot garbage. And if somebody were to walk up and like give him a hard sock in the back of the head, that might be enough to do it. But he is making his way out the door.
So it's safe to say if he trips on a gnome on the way out, he's dead.
I guess if he falls 10 feet.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like there's cuts and there's blood and there's bruises. And, yeah. I mean, he looks like he's on the edge, but he's still alive.
so at this point, Icky wouldn't just like claw him in cold blood, and he's sobering up a bit from the bloodlust.
Well, so while
Doesn't want to let him go, but doesn't want to
Hold on.
murder him either.
Before he can leave, Lars, if you've got something you want to do that's related to this scene, I'll let you go first. But I want to do something before this guy completely leaves.
Okay.
I
Lars?
was just gonna say while this is happening, I'm like paying attention to this while I'm watching Ollivander scout around. I just conjure Mage Hand and just like trip him up a little bit.
Are you looking through Ollivander's eyes? Because if you're looking through Ollivander, then you're blind and deaf. Because you would be seeing what he sees.
But can I guess I don't remember how that works. Can I just have him scout and then like learn from him what he saw, or do I have to be like physically watching through his eyes to know what he saw?
Let me double check on the familiar really quick. Trying to remember. It has been a bit since you've used him as a scout. Let me double check. It obeys your commands. It says you can communicate with it telepathically when it's within 100 feet of you. I would say you can give it a task. It can fly away. It can complete the task, come back and tell you what it saw. So I think that's what we did when you guys did the break-in. At the vault.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I would say you could tell him to like fly up as high as you can go, come back down and tell me what you saw, and as soon as he comes back, you'd like be able to have that telepathic conversation with him.
Okay.
Okay, so you said you cast Mage Hand and make him stumble.
Yeah, I just kind of trip him up a little bit.
Alright, so as he trips, oh fuck, he looks down, he just sees that, because it says it's like a spectral hand, so he sees it floating around, what the fuck? Oh, I'm so tired of these fucking crazy people. And he just makes his way, and he's kind of trying to keep his eye on as many of you as he can as he makes his way to the door.
So I can't see because the room's not up, so I can't see. Does he see me?
Oh yeah. You would definitely be like, you would be within 10 feet of him as he made his way to the door.
Okay, so I'm going to step forward, and again, the head of the axe is up, so like clang, and it's bloody and gory, not just from the fight, but also from just beheading Zanisha. And so, just out of curiosity, what's your name? I'm not doing this to ruin Sean.
No. I'm prepared. I just had to look. So he stops. He kind of looks at you. He looks at the axe. His shoulders kind of droop even more. And the name's Allard Walton.
A-L-L-A-R-D?
A-L-A-R-D W-A-U-T-E-N. Allard Walton.
And where do you live, Allard Walton?
Over there. And he points to like the southeast.
How far from here?
Normally 15-minute walk, but in this condition might take me a little longer.
Well, Allard Walton, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
Now that we're such good friends, it's nice that I know your name and where you live, just in case it turns out someone finds out what you told us, or that you even saw us here at all.
I mean, I guess he looks back at the body of Zanisha. It's not as much fun as it used to be. So and then he kind of pulls off what's left of the red robe and drops it to the side. Maybe I'll stick with my day job. And then kind of like begins to make his way, looking at you guys kind of backing out through the door.
I really want to just know what his day job is. Somebody please ask.
Nope. Too late. He
No.
is gone.
No.
All right, so he is out. Now, Ollivander is flying up during when all of this is happening. Comes back down, lands on your shoulder, and he basically relays to you that while the stairwell is broken in a bunch of places, once you get past the bells, there is a small trap door, and there is a room up there with there's a couple of boxes, and then there's 3 small locked chests.
Are we going? I guess I'll ask the group. Do we want to rest here?
Does this really seem like a safe place to rest? It's a rickety old clock tower.
Put up with the battle we just had.
For 100 years or more, I think it'll probably still be standing tomorrow.
We're also in a real bad part of town.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just want to say, Sean, I'm really relieved. I was terrified you were going to have like a nest of baby snake people up there, and then we were going to feel bad.
Mama!
But okay, I was thinking I would need to like teleport up there or something, but we have a bird. So I go to Icky and I relay to him what Ollivander saw and ask if he'd be interested in checking out this room.
Is there any... Like, we haven't discussed if Icky could carry anybody while flying.
It would have to be somebody a size class smaller than you, and it halves your movement, but I would say yes.
And Icky, you want to give me your head up there?
So, like, I was going to say, so, like, does that mean, like, Icky could conceivably carry Grelda and Geisen, not at the same time, obviously, but that he could not get Sanishi or Tarnin up there?
That is
but he
actually
could get
correct.
the other two of them? Okay.
Yes, because I believe, I'm pretty sure both the gnome and the dwarf. Do you count as medium creatures? Stand by for just a second. Let me just double check something.
Good time.
You know what? I'd say yes, because I believe they do count as smaller creatures, dwarves, gnomes, halflings. So yeah, I'd say you'd be able to carry them one at a time up there.
Okay. So I guess I ask, Geisen, how confident are you that it's safe up there?
Well, Ollivander didn't see. Wait, Ollivander didn't see anything up there, right? Any?
No, nothing alive. No.
So unless there's some crazy invisible spell or something, which crazy snake lady could have conjured up, but otherwise it appeared to be safe up there.
Well, like Geisen has some sort of detect magic, right? Or is that only Tarnin who has it?
I don't know. I don't believe Geisen has a detect magic spell.
Okay.
I do not.
Okay. Yes, Tarnin.
Ooh. Does it look like it'd be hard for me to climb?
You can certainly try. It's
Not
it's
really an answer to
like that's a bad idea.
It would be hard to climb.
it looks like it would be nearly impossible to climb,
Oh, okay.
especially 150 plus feet, because it is a brick wall basically. So you're talking fingertip holds at best, and you would be climbing up mostly fingertip holes for 150 to 180 feet.
To get to that
Yes.
room, or to get to the stairs where I can continue up.
You can. Each level is about 25 feet.
Yeah.
So, but you can't take the stairs all the way up. So you'd have to go up. You have to climb up to some stairs. Go to where there is no stairs. Climb up through an open spot. So you'd be climbing up 25 feet with handholds 7 times. So it's entirely possible.
But if the farther I go up, there's nothing to stop me. I
From
can't
falling.
fall back onto another set of stairs.
Most likely not.
Icky, given all of this, Icky will just Icky turns to Geisen and Grelda, so like, do either of you want to come up? Otherwise, I'll just run up and see what's to be seen up there.
I wouldn't mind going up.
Grelda looks nervous for the first time that you've seen her, and basically like shuffles a little and then says that I'm fine.
All right.
He's just like kind of handling the keys that he found and imagining what he might find up there. So he's cool with going up.
All right. Well, Icky's going to, gingerly grasp his little drinking buddy in his claws and head on up.
All right. So as you head up, you make your way up to the top, and again, you see that as you're flying upwards, you see that there is the winding wooden staircase. There doesn't seem to be. There's no other rooms. There's no other side passages. It is smooth, except for the staircase broken in many places all the way up. When you get up to the top, you do see 4 immense bronze bells hanging at the top, and it looks like there is what was left of like clockwork gears that come in from the clock face. And then when you go past that, you do see the little trapdoor that he was talking about, and you manage to fly up into that, and it takes you to a large and it's a very dust-covered room. There is a pile of kind of rags and blankets in one corner, and in the other corner there are 2 large wooden crates, and then right next to that there's 3 smaller wooden boxes, as Icky had seen, small wooden chests that have locks on all 3 of them, and there is 1 window opposite of where the boxes are, and that's about it up there.
So these small chests that are locked, are these the sorts of things that I could carry any number of them down with me, or are they too large for Icky to manage?
They're not too
one at a
large,
time?
but you're not sure how heavy they are. They're probably about, I would say, 2.5 to 3 feet across. And then I will say it is 8:30. Does anybody need 5 minutes? All right. Back into it. So you are up in the room. You had landed, looked around. Go.
I
was just gonna say, I conjure Mage Hand and just kind of poke around with it in case there's traps.
Any particular thing you're poking, or are you going to stand up there and literally like try and touch the entire room?
Well, especially the locked chests, but just kind of in general, the crates and I guess the pile of disgusting rags.
Do you draw your name in the dust?
Geisen was here.
I draw a bird penis in the dust.
Give me a performance. No, I'm kidding.
Grelda really wants to know what that looks like, but he doesn't know it's happening.
Well, give me a performance check then.
Yeah, you made Grelda do
I
a
did make
performance
Grelda do a performance check when she drew a dick on the
10.
wall. 10?
My performance is +3. I rolled a 7.
You know what it is. Geisen looks down at it and kind of like turns his head sideways a little bit. And when you tell him what it is, he's like, "Oh, okay, I can see it." But before that, he's like, "Is that a cloud? Is that a tree?" All right. So then, as the mage hand messes around with the blankets, kind of pushes them and moves them and touches and kind of shifts the boxes as much as it can, nothing seems to happen.
Okay. Did you land, or are we still
I've landed us.
Yeah.
So I guess at this point, I'd suggest investigating the or percepting at the things that we're gonna because I want to open the chests and just check them. If I see anything suspicious or
is that investigation?
I think so.
Perception is to look. Investigation is to touch. Is the easiest way I can describe it. It's
Okay,
not 100%. That's the easiest way.
I will look because Icky's bad at touch.
Icky no touch.
Hey, cool. 16 plus 2, so 18.
18. All right. The actual the two larger crates actually don't have tops. So you're able to go over and kind of like peer into both of them. One of them seems to have just women's clothing, like human women's clothing, just kind of like thrown in there. Well, you would almost think like a dirty clothes pile. And the other one has a couple of small containers of liquid. They seem to be not vases, but I'm trying to think. Canters, I think, is the proper like just a couple of canters. It's clear liquid, and there's a couple of wooden goblets around them.
So the women's clothing. How fancy are we talking? Are we is this something that perhaps one might expect to see Aisha Foxglove wear?
No. Okay. This is very. Most of this would be like peasant, lower middle, upper lower class kind of garb. It's not holy and dirty, but it's not what you would consider like nice. It would be like normal workwear.
Are there? This is going to sound like a crazy question, and it kind of is. But are there normal pants, or are the pants cut that they might perhaps accommodate a large snake tail?
No, they're all normal, normal-sized human women clothing.
Okay. I relay to Geisen what I've found in the crates.
Okay. I will pull out the keyring, and Mage Hand is adept enough to like unlock a lock, right?
Yep. They can carry up to 10 pounds, and you can use it to put a key in a lock and turn it and open a door and stuff like that.
So I motion Icky over to the other side of the room, and then I remember a time when I wished I had used Mage Hand to open a chest, and it did not go well. So I I'll try the first one on the left. Start using the keys on it. Well, actually, first, do the keys look distinct?
Just the teeth are a little different, but the keys themselves look pretty plain and similar.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just randomly pick one of the keys and try it in the leftmost. Yes.
All right. So you just randomly pick one of the keys. It doesn't open the first one, but does open the second one. And as you push it open, like you kind of move a little closer so you can peer in, and you see that there are 4 small pouches, kind of like leather pouches tied off at the top. There's 4 small ones in it.
I guess so they're pretty small.
Probably about like you can hold them in your hand. Even you can hold them in your hand.
What is it? Even me? What is that supposed to mean?
You're a gnome. I can hold them in my hand, and even you can hold them in your hand.
I try to hold them in my mage hand.
Yes, where is your wooden bourbon bowl, anyway? No,
Yeah,
anyway, you would be able to pick them up, like, one at a time in your mage hand and bring them out.
Okay, I just kind of set them on the floor in front of the chest, and then I go up and pick them up and look inside.
All right. These 4 contain just a smattering of different jewels. Different. There's like precious stones. There's jewelry, like rings and bracelets. Just a smattering of different stuff.
Cool. I guess I'll pocket a couple of them and throw a couple of them to Icky,
Okay.
so we can distribute them later.
So.
And then I'll just use Mage Hand to try to open the next chest.
Was that all 3 bags, Sean?
All 4 bags.
4 bags. Okay.
Yeah. So it would have been 2 each. All right. Then you find the next one that does open with the key, and this has one just kind of like rusted looking dagger right in the center, and then it's got 2 larger pouches on both sides of that dagger.
I guess again with Mage Hand, I'll try to pull the pouches out.
One at a time because they're a little heavier, but both of the pouches do come out relatively easily.
Okay. I'll set them down and then I'll go and look at them.
All right. As you open them, you see that there is a lot of coins in these. There's a large amount of gold and silver. It is between the 2 pouches. There is about 2,400 gold and 150 silver.
$240 gold, did you say?
240 gold? Sure, it can be 240 instead of 2,400 if you want.
What I think that he says out loud 240 gold.
Oh. Trying to be sneaky. I like it.
Tarnin not grumpy at all.
I guess similarly, I toss one of the pouches to Ricky and pocket the other one.
All right.
Okay.
And then I'll pull the dagger out with the Mage Hand and see if it looks like there's anything special about it.
Give me an investigation check on it.
Am I getting any help?
Oh yeah, totally help you out. Icky's got nothing better to do other than catch sacks, apparently. So
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine because you would be holding it up like, hey, what do you think?
Oh well, you're worthless.
Well, he's good at catching
I
sacks.
told you that. You should. Owlvander could have told you that.
Actually, I think Alivander could have helped, right? Can't Alivander help?
Maybe. I got a 12 altogether.
All right. Well, what you can tell from it, it seems to be a relatively ordinary dagger. There is some rust spots on it, so you can tell that it is a bit older. On On the bottom of the handle, on the bottom of the pommel, there's a little circular spot, and on it, on both sides of it, you can see a Sahedron on both sides, 7-pointed star that you've become very familiar with. And as you look at the blade, you can see that there is dried blood covering dried blood covering dried blood. Like, you can tell that there's different layers of dried blood that are different ages old. So this dagger has been used many times over however long it's been had, and it was never cleaned, hence why the rust was there.
Do you know with prestidigitation, it'll clean an item? Would it clean the rust off of an item, or just the blood and dirt?
I would say just the blood and dirt. Rust seems to be more, with it being more of like a chemical reaction.
Okay. Would I have like cloth or like something extra on me to wrap it in?
I'm sure I would just say yes. I'm sure you'd have something in your bag. Whether it would be like an extra shirt, extra pair of clothes, something like that. Like, you would have something you could take out and wrap it if you wanted.
Okay, well, I'll do that. Because I don't really want to touch it. And then I'll move on to the last chest.
All right, you open up the last chest, and actually the only thing that is in the last chest is a rolled up piece of parchment, kind of just like in the corner. And other than that, the chest is empty.
Geisten looks more excited about this chest than the other two. I pull that out again with the mage hand.
Okay. Comes out easily.
And then I'll pick it up and look at it.
All right, it's rolled up, and you do see a seal, a wax seal on it that has been broken, but the wax seal is a Sahedron, like pushed into it in red wax. So then, as you unroll it and read it, I'm assuming, or look at it.
Yep.
You see that it is hand scrawling, like it's a letter, not a spell scroll. Sorry. It's a letter, and as you begin to read it, hold on, let me see if I can actually put this on the screen for you guys to see.
Your brain melts. We will mourn you.
You will die. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that at all. I can read it to you if you guys can't see it.
Please do.
It might be easier. Oh, yeah. It says, my sister, I trust your little band of murderers is doing well, gathering greedy souls for our Lord's rise. Has Magnamar proven to be as sinful as you had hoped? It may interest you to know that my plan to nurture greed here in this backwater village has blossomed. The quality of greed in a soul is so much more refined when it is given proper care. Are you still simply carving the Sahedron into them as they expire? How crude. My method of marking is so much more elegant. In any event, I'm sure that your plans for harvesting greed where and when you can find it in the wild are progressing well enough. I just hope that your raw, ungroomed, and likely inferior victims don't interact poorly when mixed with the purity of my own subjects. If you tire of your little project there, know that you're always welcome to come to Turtleback Ferry and serve as my assistant, little sister. Fort Rannoch should be in our control by the time you receive this letter. In any event, so there'll be plenty of room for you to, if you would wish to take me up on my generous offer.
Wait,
Go
there
back.
was more?
Yes. No, there wasn't more.
There wasn't more?
No. There was more on the handout from the book, but there isn't more.
All right.
I'm mixing that. That's not there, but I don't have. If it would have been in person and I would have handed you an actual note, it would have been correct. But I can't really edit the document that's on there.
Does Turtleback Ferry to Geisen?
Yes. Give me a history or... Yeah, give me a history check. And Icky can give one as well. Depends. If you've read it out loud to Icky, he can give one as well.
Yeah, I read it out loud.
All right, Icky, give me a history check.
Oh. I need to put that die away.
19.
Oof. 4.
All right. So there's a 4. So you have actually not heard of Turtleback Fairy, Icky. And what did you get, Lars?
19.
19. You know that it is a inland kind of port town where they do ferry people from one side to the other. It is the river that comes in from the coast, actually. This river right here that comes in from the coast. That is the Yondalascari River, and that actually flows inland to a lake, and then from that lake it goes a little further, and that's where Turtleback Ferry is.
And do they actually ferry people on the backs of turtles? Do they have like big tortoises?
Actually, with that role, you would know. Turtleback Ferry is famous for the fact that they have 3 ferries that are crafted from the shells of ancient dead giant tortoises. So they actually do ferry people on the backs of shells, turtle shells.
That's pretty cool.
I thought for sure that they were going to be on the shells of snails.
Snailback Ferry.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you rolled a 4.
Which is what confused him in the first place.
Yeah. Like I thought they were snails. I don't understand what's happening.
Everything with a shell is the same animal to Icky.
So I just take another. That's all that was in the chest, right?
Yep, that's it. Just that letter. And I will actually, I can share that out to everybody after we're done. Like, I'll just throw it in the D&D chat so everybody can look at it if you want.
Okay, and then I look around the room. You already checked out the crates, and there wasn't anything real worthwhile in those, right?
Well, there seemed to be a bunch of women's clothes in one of them. And then I'm sorry, what was in the other one?
The other one was
the bottles,
yes,
or the
bottles of the clear
canters.
liquid and a couple of wooden cups.
Mm-hmm. Those, the bottles and cups kind of scream alcohol to Icky, so Icky is more interested in investigating those a little more closely. So you probably want an investigation check at this point, don't you?
Well, so what are you looking for? I guess I could say.
I'd like to identify. I would like to see if I can identify the liquid, and if that involves. So I'm sorry. What's the sealing mechanism on the bottle?
No, they're not sealed at all. They have open tops.
They're just
small.
open.
They're kind of small open tops, but they're
open.
open.
They're open to the air right now.
They are open to the air right now.
Okay. Well, in that case, I will smell them and see if I can identify.
Okay.
Liquid.
Then you reach in. Give me
A sniffer shift check. Gotcha.
A sniffer.
Insight. You want insight?
Just give me a straight intelligence check, actually.
Fuck. Okay. That's gonna
Hold
be
on
a
a second.
negative.
Would that be? I'm trying to think of what that would be. Give me an investigation check.
Thank you. It's still a -1. So 7. So
as you lift it up and you kind of smell it, it has no noticeable odor.
So I get tell Geist and there are some women's clothing in this box and some clear liquids and wooden cups in this one. It seems like they should be something, but hell if I know what they are.
I mean, judging by this dagger, that seems like it's probably ceremonial. I'm wondering if that liquid is also somehow involved in their ceremonies.
We could. Is there anything shy of stuffing shreds of clothing in the bottles? Is there anything around that I could stop them up with?
Not really.
Okay. Well, we could stop them up with shreds of clothing and see if anybody else down there, like Grelda, might have some insight on on whatever this is, if it's something that's worth a damn or not.
I think that's a good idea.
All right.
Okay.
So I'll start.
Do the cups look anything like Geisen's wooden cup?
Like his bourbon bowl. They're actually a little bit bigger than that. They're not huge, but they're probably about yay round for a normal person. So for a gnome, they're even a little bit bigger than your previous bourbon bowl. So
And
like when Icky picks it up, it just looks like kind of a large goblet, large cup. Doesn't look anything different than that.
There's nothing out of the ordinary about them. They don't look ornate.
Not that you can see. I mean, they're polished, but like they're smooth. But there's no decoration. There's no carvings. There's nothing in either them or the glass or the actual containers. Like they're just glass.
All right, so I will start either grabbing appropriately sized pieces of cloth or clawing accurately sized strips to plug up the bottles.
Okay. You end up doing a pretty decent job. Some of the cloth does kind of dip down into the liquid, but you end up stopping it up good enough for a quick trip.
God, I hope we have Molotov cocktails now.
And then before we leave, just for the hell of it, I root through the pile of cloth or whatever it is with Mage Hand.
Okay. You just find a couple of wooden blankets, woolen blankets. Yes, wooden blankets. The best kind of blankets, the ones that don't
Teeth
move.
are made of wool.
For when you need more blankets and less blankets.
Nothing keeps me cozier and comfier at night than a wooden pallet.
Yep, just throw it over me. It's form fitted, so it just kind of like sits. No, a couple of woolen blankets and a pillow, and that's all you find up there.
All right. I'm well, okay. So you said there was a window. Is the window open?
Yes. It's just like there's nothing covering it. It's just kind of an arched window, just an opening in the side of the wall.
Okay. I told Icky, I think I'm done looking around. Is there anything else you wanted to check out?
No, I think that's. I mean, I can take. Icky will take one last look around, one last percept around.
If anything, you would have found the first time.
Okay, cool. Well, then I won't get out the special dice.
No dice.
All right. Yeah. No, I'm ready to head back down if you are.
Sounds good.
I head down without Geisen. I kid.
Jump! I'll meet you at the bottom.
Make a cannon. Make a cannon.
So yeah, like Icky grabs up Geisen in his claws and heads back down.
Okay. Woo. Then you see them fly out of the sky like an angel carrying a small child.
You're going to say like an angel being carried by a gangly bird.
Meanwhile,
so yes, did anything occur during this time
definitely.
between Sanishi, Grelda, and Tarnin?
Grella, do you want to go first, or may I?
Is that Tarnan asking me?
Yeah. No, that's Bill asking Tammy.
Okay, you go.
Okay. As soon as the two take flight, and Grelda's kind of looking up there and showing some relief, not a lot, because of course she's not afraid to be up there, but some relief that she's not actually up there. Tarnan turns to Sinishi.
All right, get your angry face on.
Just for future reference, Sinishi, when I say I'm letting them go, it doesn't mean you have to let them go. If I say we're letting them go, we are going to let them go. But if I say I'm letting him go, you are welcome to take things into your own hands and just give him that final push over the edge. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
So you're saying I should have killed the weak guy in cold blood?
Do you feel that would have been appropriate considering how many people he's been party to murder others?
He certainly seemed like a bad guy, and I mean, but does he really deserve a warrior's death?
Would it have been a warrior's death?
Death by warrior.
That's your call. But I'm telling you, next time, or from this point on, if I say it in that manner, and you feel that he should be ended for the sake of punishing him for what he's done, I would not stop you.
Aye, Captain.
If you're good with it, I would have been.
Out of character, I don't know that. I have no idea what Sinishi would have done or not done in that situation.
Which is why I'm not actually asking for recon in any way, shape, or form. But
no, like that
is
communicated and will be communicated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha, Cap.
Not a problem. Excuse me, ladies. He nods to Grelda and Sinishi, and then he follows Allard Walton out the door after he's been out long enough that he's got a good chance to hide in shadows and follow him.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out timelines now.
He would be moving really slowly and may have been murdered by slumsters outside of the building. Slumsters is a real word.
Slumsters.
Okay.
All them slumsters. All right, I'm just trying because it would have been it would have only been a couple of minutes. All right, give me a perception check as you exit.
Perception 12.
12?
Yeah.
With how dark it is,
I can't tell where
you can't tell where he went.
Fair enough. I start heading.
That's where he lives.
What was that?
That's where he lives, or where he said he lives.
The direction, yeah.
Doesn't Tarnan have dark vision?
Yeah, of course he does.
Yeah. But
so
just with
that,
dark vision. With the time,
the leaking
with the
blood.
Roll, but yeah, with the time, with his desire to get away, with the you with the perception check when you get out there, you're not able to really follow him.
Fair enough. And then, not being able to find him, he was told about 2 blocks to the east. Tarnan will travel 2 blocks to the east.
To the north, it was, actually.
To the north? Not for where the guy lives.
No, the guy lived to the southeast, and he said 2 blocks north is where he usually met the people.
Okay, 2 blocks north. My mistake. Tarnan will go 2 blocks north.
All right, are you just walking or are you sneaking?
Sneaking.
All right, give me a stealth check.
Oh, sure. Now you show up. 18.
18? All right. You're moving. You are very hidden. You do see a couple of people like walking around corner, like, you know, turning a corner or entering or exit some buildings as you walk. It seems pretty quiet at this time of night. You are moving slowly in order to stay stealthy. You end up going 2 blocks to the best of your knowledge, because it's not straight off streets, and you get to kind of a L-shaped dead end intersection, and there's a lot of like what you would immediately consider to be good hiding spots, and you don't see anybody, but you do have dark vision. So in one corner, one little like indent.
Please, I need 30 seconds.
Yep. Okay, so Tarnan is out. Icky and Geisen have just landed, so we can continue with that.
Okay,
since Tarnan is currently out of the building.
Grelde is in the middle of cleaning Sasha while guarding the door.
Sanishi is probably just hanging out by the, checking out the door every now and
waiting
again.
for something to kill.
Yeah. So once Icky and Geisen land, I guess Icky would take out the bottles that he had from upstairs. Hey Grelda, we found these upstairs. I have no idea what they are. They don't smell like booze to me, but you're more than just a booze smith, and that's what I appreciate about you. Can you tell us what's in here?
Before he even finishes speaking, she has crossed the room to him and accepted the bottle with great care. So was there was a cart, right, in the corner? Is there
yes,
surface that I could use?
Yes there is.
So I very carefully put the bottle on the table surface.
Mm-hmm.
I would see what I could smell or sense about it, or see before unveiling or unwrapping any of the cloth first.
Give me a perception check.
Since it's about beer, do I get to do it advantage? No, I'm kidding.
Since you're doing it prior to tasting or smelling, no.
That was a joke. I didn't
All
expect you to get on that. 14.
14? You can't tell anything distinct about it. It doesn't remind you of any kind of alcohol or liquor you've seen.
What about the shape of the bottle? Sometimes specific liquors or whatever can mean a specific...
It kind of reminds you of... I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. Kind of like what you put wine in, where it's got a wide bottom and then kind of goes up to more the top where you pour. That's kind of the shape of the bottle.
Okay. Which could sometimes be used for oil, and I can tell it's not oil, right? It's not
viscous?
It is.
It's not. No, it's definitely a normal liquid, a watery kind of substance. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Then I would very carefully remove the cloth.
Okay.
I would smell the cloth before putting it aside very carefully, and I would try to do it so that the wet side was on top. I didn't put the wet on the table surface.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And then I would
an investigation check.
Investigation?
I think.
For smelling?
I think that's what. Yeah, because that's what I had Icky do.
Okay. My investigation is real bad, so this is not going to go great.
So I'm sure one of these would be good for trying to figure out food, but I can't.
4.
Which one. 4?
4.
It does not have a scent at all that you can pick up.
So I relay my findings to the group, and then I turn to the cloth, or kind of pick up the cloth. Should we light it on fire and see what happens?
Works for me.
No one says anything? Then I'm going to go outside to do that.
All right, you step outside into the darkness. You take
Which it's not dark. I have dark vision.
No, I know, but it's still dark
right.
outside. So you step outside, take out your torch, you light one end of the cloth, and it does catch, and it burns towards the wet end. So you kind of set it on the ground, and as the fire goes towards the wet end, it goes out.
So I walk back in. I say it's not flammable. Could be more of that anger water that's somehow not angry when you try and sell it to someone. I don't know.
Huh.
I don't recommend we
it-
drink it to find out.
No. Um. Well, did Tarnan go somewhere?
Yeah, he
'Cause-
was acting weird and then left. I think he needed some
Well,
space.
okay. Well, he's got away with the world. Maybe he'd be able to look at something like I don't think we should leave these bottles behind quite yet.
All right. So then Tarnan
That's me.
sees
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
2 blocks north. So you see that little dark alcove, and you walk up. Yes.
Is 2 blocks screaming distance? I'm just asking for a friend.
I'm sure if it's quiet enough, you could probably.
I think according
Ish.
to music, it's definitely within howling
It's
difference.
howling. There's a wolf
Clearly,
somewhere in the city. So
yeah.
you walk up to the little alcove, and you give me a perception check.
I'm using luck,
Okay.
and I'm keeping that roll. Perception. 23.
23. All right. So as you kind of, that's what helps you notice there's something kind of on the ground, and as you walk up there, you do see there are 3 red robes just like piled up on the ground, exactly like the ones that had been worn
Got it.
by the people you fought.
Are there melted bodies in the robes?
No. It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Just
I was gonna say they're dead Jedi.
Okay, I gather up the robes. I look around. Do I see anyone still walking away? Do I see
not anybody still walking away, no.
direction of travel by
How long has
the
it been since you left?
Not you guys are probably still upstairs. Or those 2 are probably still upstairs because I mean it's only 2 blocks of walking.
Yeah, but I think he said that, like, as he was leaving, he said that he usually met them like 35 minutes from now.
That's what I heard too.
That's what he said.
Okay. So has it been, like, is Tarnan assuming it's past the time when that meeting would have happened?
I wouldn't
Or
think
before.
so, but that's not my call.
So is Sean thinking it would be before or after?
It has not been 35 minutes since he said that.
And I can't tell by the placement of the robes which way they were facing or which way it looks like they were just kind of discarded.
They were discarded downward. They're not, like, formed in any particular way. You just got the idea that they were taken off and put down. You don't notice any blood, any rips or tears in the robes or anything like that.
They're not spread out like snow angels?
No. Put up
And this is all
no
cobblestone? This isn't dirt. This isn't a dirt path. Underneath the airspan is all.
Well, there is dirt, but
So I
there's
can't-
also tons. There's also, like, so much foot traffic. I will say. I mean, this is a
but these
well-traveled
would be
area in
really
general.
fresh, and it's midnight-ish. So how
It's
many
definitely
people have
late.
already stopped on these footpaths?
I would still say you wouldn't be able to tell.
Okay. Pick up the robes and walk back.
Okay. I would say, with everything they were doing, you'd probably get back right as Grelda got done burning. Like, you would probably see the little flame of it as you were walking up.
Oh, it's still on fire? I'm going to go add the robes.
If you're gonna drop the robes on the piece of cloth, is that what you're doing?
If there's still a flame to add them to, yes.
That would definitely put out the flame. You can drop them on him. It's not a big. It's like a small piece of cloth that could cork a bottle.
With
So
the intent of trying to burn these things, can I place them in such a manner that they will instead catch flame and not extinguish the flame?
If you want to hold one of the robes at a time so the edge is over the flame and attempt to catch it on fire, you can. But if
Certainly.
Okay.
Then I'll start that, and I'll say there are now 3 less in the cultist membership.
Did you find 3 more?
No. They dropped their robes and left.
Okay. You are able to catch, if you want to do each of them, you are able to eventually catch them all on fire, one at a time.
So, any luck upstairs?
We found some sacks of coins, some liquid that we can't quite identify, and I think Geisen has some other shit too. But so Grelda couldn't figure out what this liquid is. You want to take a crack at it?
What?
We found these bottles.
Must not be related to alcohol in any way, shape, or form.
Doesn't seem to be.
I mean, if you and Grelda both couldn't determine what it was, it must be water.
It's not flammable.
Sure. I bring up detect magic.
Okay. Nothing pops from them.
Nothing pops up from any of them.
From any of the bottles? No.
Well, from the immediate area. Seems.
You feel. I'm trying to remember how this Oh, that's right. You get a small outline over everything, don't you?
Correct.
Trying to remember. All right. So all of your stuff pops, like all of your magical items, but none of the other stuff that you see gives off anything.
Well, it's not magic. And it's not alcohol. That much
Then
I
why-
can say for sure.
And why would she keep it? She's treating it like it's precious.
I mean, as precious as some old ratty women's clothing. Maybe it's what turned her into a snake lady. Would anybody like to try becoming a snake lady?
Nope.
Is Geisen at least like curious? I mean, surely he thought about it for a moment.
Curious about turning into a snake lady, or curious about the bottle?
Curious enough about the bottle to contemplate the side effect of being a snake lady.
Yeah, Geisen is educated enough to know about poisons, and he would not want to drink that.
Yeah, I forgot to ask if I detected any iocane powder.
Luckily,
You've been
Geisen's-
building up a tolerance to it, so.
It's actually the crux of my backstory. Give me that.
Damn it.
Any other
It's all
luck?
ruined.
Any other guidance on where else we can head? Or are we done? I mean, we have clearly taken off the head of the snake.
I relay the information from the letter, or I guess I could also hand them the letter, along with the lizardback fairy information.
Turtle.
Turtleback.
Turtle. Snailback.
Wasn't it a snail? I thought it was snail.
What kind of lizards have a shell, man? Come on.
I literally
Aside
was
from
thinking,
turtles.
It doesn't.
Flying fairy?
It wasn't shell fairy. It was back. Lizard said back.
Back fairy.
Baby back fairy? Baby got back fairy? What? Fairy got back? What?
So after Grelda reads the note, trying desperately to get us back on track,
Thank you.
she says, I think we should show this to the guard whose name, Macaroni Man. Sorry, Sean. I'm terrible.
Macaroni Man?
No, Auric.
The vacuum cleaner man.
No, Vacuum Cleaner Man we still need to talk to, but he doesn't necessarily need to know what's going on. It's the guard captain dude and his...
Right, who's like a day behind us.
Sergeant
Exactly.
at Arms Dunhall?
Ironbriar?
Yes.
Where did you, I'm
Macaroni
curious
Man.
where the macaroni dude came from.
I've literally explained this to you guys twice now.
Is it because he stuck a feather in his cap?
Yes.
That's
Yes. He had a feather in his cap the whole time we've known him.
Oh, the captain of the guard.
Sergeant at Arms Dunhall. Yes.
With the feather in his cap. Called
And-
macaroni.
And Justice Ironbriar?
That was the person
That
that
was where we-
Dunhall had
yeah.
mentioned.
That's where we were going to meet him up, I think. Or maybe we were going to go to the gates. I can't remember anymore. But regardless, I think we should go get our horses, get a good night's sleep. What time is it? Is it afternoon or evening? It's evening, right? Dark.
It's about
evening.
midnight.
Okay. Where's the nearest tavern Tarnan is somewhat familiar with that'll be safe enough for all of us to sit down and have a drink?
With where you are. Hold on.
We'll probably have a room near the stables where our horses are already stabled for the night.
Hold on. Where is the? Well, that's right. It's way the hell back here. There we go. All right, so you left your horses in the dockway. The nearest one to the airspeed to the underbridge from where you are. You are familiar with an inn and tavern called the Soldier and the Stove. That is within a block or so from where you left their horses.
Perfect. Let's go there. What is it called again?
The Soldier and Stove.
All right, so since the ferry actually ended up being literal, I have to ask: is there a soldier in a stove in the tavern?
Just
In the tavern or on the outside of the tavern?
Like in the tavern?
All right. Well, you go pick up your horses. You take them
Oh,
to.
time out. We're leaving our horses there for the night. They're already stabled for the night. Why would we take them to the inn and
I
tavern?
thought you said let's go get our horses. I must have
Oh.
misheard.
I thought you said that too.
I suggested it before I knew what time it was.
Okay. All right. So you end up walking past where you had your horses stabled, and you walk up to the Soldier and Stove. It looks like barely more than a large yet well kept hygienic house. Like, it doesn't really look like an inn and tavern, but it does have the sign on the outside. And as you walk in, the bar is very, very brightly lit, and even for this time of night, it is fairly crowded for its size. It's a smaller place with 4 or 5 round tables and a couple of benches on the side, and there's 7 or 8 people kind of sitting around, kind of talking with each other. It's bustling for the size, and then there is a small bar on the left with 3 stools that nobody is currently sitting at, and behind the bar is a medium-sized man with the one thing you do notice about him. He's kind of medium-sized. He has a bit of a mousy face and very, very, very delicate ears, like extremely thin ears. It kind of it's almost off-putting. He is a halfling, so it's almost off-putting on the fact that you expect halflings' ears to be very large, and his are tiny to the point of kind of begging your attention. But other than that, he's got a small mangy mop of black hair, and he's just kind of sitting back behind there, very feverishly cleaning a glass, scrubbing it very intently.
Are there any other clean glasses?
Are you asking?
Sure. That's how I'll introduce myself.
Right.
Hi, are there any other clean glasses?
He doesn't stop scrubbing, but he looks up. All the glasses are clean. They're always clean when I put things in them. You want a clean glass?
Yep.
You want anything in the clean glass?
Geralda, what are you feeling in the mood for? Sanishi? Geisen?
I asked Geralda what she would recommend from. Is she able to see what they have, or can we see what they?
You can like you see a couple of casks behind, but there you don't see markings on anything.
Do you have a bourbon?
Got a couple. You want the cheap or the expensive?
I'll take the expensive.
All right.
What's it called?
Kind of looks down. Arrow Point.
And what's the other one called?
Needle Point.
Yep, I'll take the arrow point.
I'll take one of those two, and I pull. I don't know how much would a round of that cost for the whole group.
For all 5 of you, 4 silver pieces.
I pull out 5 silver pieces from the bag that we got from up in the tower and put them on the bar.
What about a couple of rooms too?
How many you want?
At least 2.
Well, you're in luck. We've got 3.
Okay.
It'll be 5 silver per person per night.
So for the 5 of us, it'll be 20 silver. Got it. Which is about 2 gold. I'll give you just 2 gold.
5,
Fast talk,
10,
Vince.
15. 25 silver for 5 people.
I thought you said there was a group rate.
I do not recall using those words, sir.
So is it the same cost per person whether we do 2 rooms or 3?
What was that?
Shouldn't the cost be by the number of rooms? Or is it the same cost if the 5 of us go in 2 rooms or go in 3?
Yes.
Well, then I guess we'll take 3 rooms.
Alright.
And I can't persuade him down, is what you're saying.
You haven't tried.
That's what I'm saying I'm trying to do.
Well, you have to say you're trying to do it. I didn't
I'm
know.
trying
You
to
sounded like you were
persuade
just
him
trying to.
down.
So give me a persuasion check.
18 plus 7.
He reaches around, grabs the 3 keys. Alright, how about this? 10 gold per room if you take the 2 rooms and leave me 1.
10 gold?
I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Okay.
10 silver each room. Fit as many people as you freaking want in there.
2 rooms. You got it.
Alright.
I'll pay for it.
Alright, he takes the 2 gold, slides you the 2 keys. They're up the stairs whenever you're ready. And then he pulls out 5 small glasses and pours the arrow point and pushes them forward.
Hands the 1 key to Sanishi and says, "You and Grilda," and then the gentleman can sleep in the other one. Unless you're asking for separate arrangements for a different reason. Hearing none.
So he shouldn't care.
Is the bartender still cleaning that glass?
Not that one. He has put that one down, slid it to the side, and you see as he slides it, there are 4 other glasses right next to it that are all extremely clean, and then he reaches under the bar and pulls out a slightly dirty glass and just goes feverishly again at it, like scrubbing it.
I cast prestidigitation on the one he's cleaning.
Alright, so he's cleaning it, and then like the whole, like the all the dirt and the everything just kind of melts down it, and he looks at it, and he holds it up and he turns it, and then he looks at his cloth, and he puts the glass down and grabs another one and just has this like quizzical look on his face and starts scrubbing it again.
I do it again.
He just stops. And he puts the glass down in front of him, kind of looks like, pulls out the cloth, opens it up, and just starts looking at it. Just this wonderment across of his face.
Alright. I'll, cheers.
What was that?
Cheers. I raise my glass up. And...
Grelda, actually has been awfully quiet this whole time. And she says, actually, I think I'm just going to go to bed. And she gives Geisen her glass and takes the key from Sanishi and prepares to head up.
Icky, somehow I feel like you would appreciate this other glass.
Oh. I didn't realize that you were a psychic as well, Geisen. Thank you. Icky goes to town double fisting.
Nice.
Tarnan walks over to a table and sits down and waits to see if anyone will join him.
Yes, I'll join.
Yeah. Icky heads over as well, mid-sip.
Sanishi?
We'll sit down as well.
Okay.
Okay. So, Skin Saw Man is dead. His boss is dead. The murders are over.
The murders aren't over.
Why do you say that?
This is bigger than the Snake Lady. This is
From what you were telling me in the letter, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you feel I'm wrong, either way. The murders were from this brotherhood, this cult of the seven, this brotherhood of the seven. And Zanisha, I'm sorry, what the heck was her name? Zanisha was in charge here. That solves the murders in this city and expanding around. What you guys found is something even more. I'm not pushing that aside as we don't touch it. I'm saying our part here is done as far as the murders. Have we solved and or avenged our losses from our friend? I was hoping that Geralda would stick around to answer that, but she's got her thing going on.
Well, have we really solved all the murders though? Because isn't this Brotherhood continuing to murder more people?
There's no more lists, and at least
in this town,
already said.
as far as we know. As far as we know, in this town, the murder lists were coming from that Snake Lady that we just took out. I'm not confident that will end things in this city because we know that there's still a deeper network here. And I feel like there are elements of that network that can get me the information that I'm looking for, which is why these cultists seem to find me so important.
My take on it is these cultists don't really give two shits about you. Upstream may have been, but from the Snake Lady down, I don't think they gave a shit about you. I think you're right that her sister might be able to be the next lead we have on why you might be important to whatever game is going on. But the cultists who sat here and were collecting greedy souls seems done to me. There's more upstream, but I think from where we're at, the level we're at, it's done. And to get answers for you, we need to go farther upstream. To bring a close to what we set out to do as far as solving these murders, I think we're done at that point.
I'm not sure that we are done, but at the very least, I think we should hand off what we've learned and accomplished here to Colonel Macaroni.
I hate you all so much.
Yeah, that sounds good. Are we gonna
If it's
talk
not
to
the
that
name, it's the appearance.
I can't. I'm sorry. I couldn't remember. Like,
No, that's fine. I'm sorry.
I was like, I
didn't
can have a few more seconds to search for the name.
I didn't mean to break the moment. Sorry.
You broke everything.
Okay, continue. Continue. I'm sorry.
No, it's like what? Please remind me what his name is.
Albert Dunhall, Sergeant at Arms.
Sergeant. Sorry,
Albert Dunhall.
So, and at this point, we would expect him to have made it to town, right? Or is he still
It would be the
due to
next
show
day.
up tomorrow?
Yeah,
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay. So, Dunhall.
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 So,
Is Macaroni the middle name then?
the sergeant at arms, Dunhall, he's supposed to be here tomorrow. I think that at the very least, we should rest tonight, report what we found here, see if he has anything else for us to go on, and if he doesn't, then follow up with this deeper down the rabbit hole notion.
Maybe what I'm trying to say is, do we bring these people? I have every intention of making a report, seeing if that gets us any more information or goodwill. But do you or any of the rest of the group here feel that we need to bring into the attention this higher level? This sister connection, this turtleback fairy.
Beyond what we were hired to do,
It is.
but I think it's just whether the group wants to pursue that. But I don't think we have a duty to pursue that.
But that's why I'm asking. That's why I'm putting it forth now. Is how do we want to? Do we want to share that, or is that ours and we go forward with it? I just want us all to be on the same page.
That's a good question, because on the one hand, we want as many opportunities for information as we can get, but we also don't know how deep this thing goes. Who spies, like where these people might have ears, or I don't know.
I mean, we could also leave it up to the sergeant at arms. I won't say the other name. If he asks us for information where the honest answer would be to tell him about this, then we could tell him. Otherwise, we can keep it to ourselves.
It's definitely true that we could inadvertently alert them by being too open about asking for information on them.
Right.
I think Geison's idea is a good one. If they volunteer, if he ends up say, like, if when we talk to them, they have information that connects to what we've learned and could perhaps build on what we already know, give us some much needed information, then I say we share what we know. But otherwise, if they're confident that their city is safe, I could see leaving it at that.
Well, and this is your city, right, Tarnan? Do you have any feelings
I don't
about
want the city, man. Don't. I have lived in this city a long time, and I gave it up for reasons. There is enough corruption here that if we stay here long enough, it's going to mess with us. I am happy to get all of you out of here relatively intact, having solved what we set out to solve, and having a lead to go somewhere further if we choose. If we don't choose, I'm also okay with that. As long as we continue to work together, I think we will prosper and grow, and something else will come our way. If we're all in the idea of following it up, then let's do so, and let's grow stronger together.
I'm cool with that.
Sanishi?
So, I mean, that big meat thing was really cool to hit. And the snake lady was hard to hit, but was good too. I mean, if we get more of that, I mean, they're not goblins, but you're right, Captain. I feel like my axes are meant for bigger things.
Well,
So
it's
just
bigger things. There's still the monster in the room, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
So that's another option.
Okay. That's a lead not followed. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we come together as a team that we might be ready for something like that. Cheers. Here's to everyone making it through. And get some rest, have a few drinks. See you guys in the morning.
Cheers.
So good. Cheers.
Dink.
Tarnin gets up and goes upstairs and gets some sleep.
Sanishi will, finish her drink and head upstairs herself. Icky will finish his drink and have another drink, and either be open to, just drunken bullshitting with Geisen, or, sitting and brooding.
What the hell? You want to do one more round?
Yeah, let's have another round. And
Be another silver and a half. Silver and 5 copper.
I put 2 silver up on the bar.
thank you. So yeah, I mean, like, Icky doesn't have anything particularly on his mind. He'd just, aside from, the occasional stray thought of wanting to figure out what's going on with this cult and end whatever murder they might be doing in his name.
Are you feeling frustrated that we didn't get the answers you were looking for?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like every time we feel like we're getting any closer, we just have more questions. Not much in the way of answers, but as long as we have a way forward, obviously I'd like to get to the end of it, find the answers sooner than later, but at least the trail hasn't run dry.
It's true. Yeah, it definitely seems like every time when we seem to get to the end of this, we find out that it goes way deeper.
I'm just glad we haven't run into any angry water here. It's just... This is serious talk. Why are you chuckling?
Be careful with angry water.
Yeah, no, it makes me wonder what's up with those canters that we found. Because I agree that how silly would it be for us to be carrying around just jugs of water? But I feel like there's something more. But how do we find out what?
That is a good question. Are alchemists a thing? Like, are they professionals that know about, I don't know, chemistry?
There are. I wouldn't say like there is an alchemist store, but there are people who study that kind of thing. Mostly in the more like learned sections, schools, universities, very large libraries, that kind of thing. Yep.
This is the second largest city on the continent.
Yes.
How in the hell is there not an alchemist here?
Well, like I said, there's not like an alchemist store, but there, if you searched around, you might be able to find one.
Okay.
Something where Sergeant at Arms Macaroni might be able to give us some directions. I'm sorry.
I have to kill him
you.
now. I'm sorry.
I
He has to die.
love watching
No.
you die inside.
It did a
It's
good
like-
job with the name,
as-
and it still didn't work.
As the character who's had to make the most death saving throws in this team, I feel like it's my right to make you die a little inside every now and again.
Definitely respect Nate and use the right terminology. It's Colonel Macaroni.
Was it? I thought it was Sergeant at Arms.
He said it was Sergeant at Arms.
All right. Whatever.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping we get a lead tomorrow. And I hope it's one that helps us get to the root of things.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're not going to figure it all out tonight. I finished my drink. And then I tell you, I'm pretty exhausted after everything, and I'm going to go up to bed.
I'm be right behind you. And like Icky finishes his drink and heads up as well.
All right. So then everybody ends up going upstairs, going to sleep. You do get your full 8 hours of sleep. So everybody, after drinking and talking, everybody takes a long rest. Does wake up. We'll say 8:30 to 9 in that range. Bill.
Is there enough time in between there that I went to bed early? Well, didn't go to bed early. I went upstairs early to I wanted to try to get a short rest in, and before my long rest, specifically so I can recharge my ring of spells.
Long rest should still cover that. Anything that could be recovered during a short rest.
No, because the spell slots that I have now, I would like to put into them, take a short rest, use the spell slots to put into it, and then I need my long rest.
Let me look at. Oh, I mean, you can absolutely do that. You can chill for an hour, get back
Thank you.
whatever you get back for that.
Just
and
wanted to
then
make sure.
sleep for 8 hours.
My
You're-
warlock spells come back on a short rest. So having used them all, I don't have any to give. But I take a short rest, I get my slots back, I can put them in the ring, and then I can take a long rest, and I'll have them fresh for me.
Okay. I think
Okay.
there was only one cure wounds used out of the ring, wasn't there? If I remember correctly.
Correct, but the ring wasn't full.
I thought you had put 3 in there. How many does it?
3 out of 5, yes.
hold? Okay.
Yep. So currently there are 2 cure wounds in there. And I have no spell slots left, so I'm going to take a short rest. I'll get 2 spell slots. I'll put 2 spells in there. And now they're level 2 spells, so I can fill the ring for the first time. And then get a full night's sleep.
Okay, so you're putting the level.
A level 2 cure. Let's see. Right now there's 2 cure wounds at level 1.
Yep. So that's 2.
I'm going to put a cure wounds at level 2 in there.
Okay.
And a that leaves me 1 spell slot or 1 spell level, which will be Hellish Rebuke.
All right, as long as you're keeping track of those.
Yep, doing it right now.
Okay. Then yep. So do an hour. I would say the others were drinking for another half hour. So Greldo went up at 12:30. Tarnin and Sinishi went up at 1, and then Icky and Geisen went up at about 1:30. So Grelda's up at about 8:30. Everybody else is in the 9 to 10 range. So by 10 o'clock, everybody is up and awake.